Welcome back to Work is Third. In this bonus clip from my conversation with Julie Rocco, we reflect on what it really means to set boundaries and practice self-compassion. Julie shares why saying yes to family and friends is easy, why saying no to people in need can be harder, and how she's learned to care for others without sacrificing herself. At the heart of this reflection is her reminder, pardon my mess, I'm under construction. Let's listen in. So we're nearing the end of our conversation together, our time together, but we'll probably hang out later. Anyways, just continue this conversation.
I hope so.
But what I want to do is ask you a series of rapid questions. Probably at some point in the future, this will be called something. Right now, it's not. It's just questions. It's just rapid questions. They don't have to be rapid though. Take them at the pace that works for you.
Slow.
Nice and slow. So the first question is, what is something that it is easy for you to say yes to?
Something I told you it's going to be slow. I'm a thinker. You know this about me. Something that's easy for me to say yes to. Typically, it's easy for me to say yes to spending time with family and friends.
Yeah.
And when I look at my calendar, quite often it's filled with time with family and friends. Now, it may be, yes, my calendar's full until, next month, so to speak, but it is easy for me to say yes to spending time with my family and friends, because although they are my family and some say you don't get to choose your family, I would choose my family over and over and over again. I'm blessed in that way. And my friends I've chosen as well. So yeah, family and friends.
I love that. And then the next question is, what is something that is hard for you to say no to?
I would say it's hard for me to say no when somebody's really struggling and they may need my help. And part of this probably stems from my own background, as a suicide loss survivor, particularly, that I don't ever want to be positioned of coulda, woulda, shoulda. If something doesn't turn out well for the individual that's reached out to me, whether it's a friend, family, colleague, stranger on the street, I feel a real sense of responsibility to be responsive, not in a martyr sort of way or savior sort of way or with resentment. But I do feel that I've learned a lot around compassion. Some people say, man, you're just you're a sucker, a bleeding heart, or put yourself in harm's way to help people, or it's to your own detriment. I don't think I do that. I do think that I use an intellectual filter as well of how will this impact me, whether it's time, emotion, finances, energy, sacrifice of doing this, but not that kind of thing. But it is hard for me to say no to somebody who needs help.
Yeah.
And so I hope that's always true. I do. I hope that's always true.
Yeah. But it sounds like you also have, I guess the word processes comes to mind, but you have something in place that helps to guide how much you can give, but you still want to give.
Yeah. Sometimes the help I offer is, let me connect you to this resource. Let me help navigate you. It may not be me personally giving that person the care they need or the resources they need or the time, energy, and effort that they may need to get them through whatever it is they need help with. So yeah, I definitely thread compassion and empathy through a needle of intellect and rational thinking and processes. So I think that you can hold both at the same time, because I'm not going to be self-sacrificing. That's, I'm not going to step into that I'm sacrificing myself to a detriment in service of others. I think that it's easy to do that, and I've been there. And it's harmful. It was harmful to myself. And so I also know that I've got to create a balance between how much I am realistically able to offer and provide when somebody needs help, as well as mitigate personal harm.
Yeah.
And that's hard to do.
It's very hard to do. Well, thanks for sharing that.
Sure, yeah.
So the last two questions are related. The first is, what is the first question?
Really, it's the third question.
It's actually this is true. We can cut this out. So the next question
Yes.
is, when it comes to rest or boundaries or joy or caring for yourself, What do you think you do really well?
I think what I do really well is understanding they're necessary. I think until you have an acknowledgement or recognition that any of that is necessary, you're just gonna, churn and burn. Yeah, the hustle, the grind, all the things that you think are tangible ways of showing that your life matters, that your existence matters. And there's a space of nothingness that can be beautiful. And I don't think that it's just, oh, you're just sucking air for the, while you're on earth for the day, so to speak. I think that it's a point of introspection, reflection, stillness is really important. It is important for me in my journey in this life. And I think that's, what's most important is just the acknowledgement that it matters. I also think having the ability to understand that it can happen when you just sit in your car and you turn it off before you head into the office. Just going to take a deep breath in a few moments. It can happen, it doesn't have to be that you climb the mountaintop and you sit in stillness and meditate for self-care. It can be simple. This is self-care for me.
Yeah.
Spending time with a friend and helping support something that really matters to you and matters to me. And, this is restorative.
This is restorative.
Yeah.
Well, I like the nothingness.
Mm-hmm.
When I think about the version of me that exists today, I think it's because in my youth, I had a lot of nothingness, right? I had a lot of time that wasn't filled with distraction.
Mm-hmm.
And so one of the things I've started to do in the last year or so is spend more time just sitting on my porch. Don't have my phone with me, not doing anything. Maybe my dog's with me, but just sitting there or sitting in the backyard in a chair and just looking at the sunset. And just really just not filling my mind or my ears or anything with stuff.
Yeah.
Because I think that helps us to be better people when we have that time that isn't filled with something.
I relate to that because when I go for a walk in the neighborhood, I used to put in my earbuds, with the podcast or music or talk on the phone or whatever it is. And I made a very conscientious decision to not do that anymore. I'll take my phone just in case there's an emergency or whatever, but I'm not on it. And I just want to be in the neighborhood. I want to be able to be present, hear the birds, see the cats, say hi to the people walking their dogs, and just connect, connect and ground in a different way that the technology would separate me from that experience. And so I like that. I thought about it actually though recently, sitting on our front porch, because we have chairs out there, but we don't. And I always love it when I am walking, though, when I can wave hi to people on their front porch. Hey, what's up?
Yeah.
And so I have visions of being that neighbor on the front porch.
When I'm 80, I want to be the person on the front porch.
Yeah.
That's just talking and telling all the neighborhood stories. That's what I want to be.
Well, let's test it out in our 50s.
Okay, let's do it.
Because I would love that.
Why wait till 80? You're right.
Exactly.
Let's do it now.
Yeah.
The time is not promised to us.
Exactly.
Wait, what's the phrase again? Say it again.
The phrase that I spoke to is, the thing is, you think you have time.
The thing is, you think you have time. All right, one last question.
Okay.
Where do you think you still have work to do when thinking about the conversation we've had today, whether it comes to your self-care or joy, balance, any of those things?
Where do I still think I have work to do?
And you could say, I don't have work to do.
Oh. Right. My work here is done and seen. No, I think it's just the opposite, actually. I struggle with trying to identify a singular area of work. When I was in my recovery after my suicide attempt, I did patient care, and we did an art therapy activity. And my art activity, my painting I made, it was really messy. And then I wrote over it, pardon my mess, I'm under construction. Borrowing from, the construction sites, like, pardon the mess, we're under construction. And it's essentially certain aspects of how I feel about my life and my personal growth and my evolution is I may always be a little messy because I like to dabble in this and dabble in that. And heck, man, I try it Tuesdays. The idea of trying something, continuing to step boldly and bravely into new spaces just to try something. And so I think that as it relates to where I have work to do, every aspect of my life will, I think, always be a journey of self-improvement balanced with accepting myself for who I am, how I show up today, and, fully present in the now, knowing that I am enough as I show up today. I'm worthy of love, self-love, and love from others. And I have a gift to bring into the world, whatever I define that to be, and that the universe flows through me. And pardon my mess, I'm under construction.
I could not think of a more beautiful way to end this conversation, honestly. Yeah, that was really well said.
Oh, thank you. I love you so much, Dawn, and I appreciate you so much.
I love you. I'm so glad that you're here and part of this experience. It feels so good. And I'm really grateful I get to share it with you. Thanks for listening. And remember, boundaries aren't about shutting people out. They're about learning how to show up for yourself with compassion and care. As Julie says, pardon my mess, I'm under construction. May we all be empowered to say that. If you enjoyed this bonus clip, share it with a friend, subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts, and remember, you matter, your boundaries matter, and your story matters. Don't forget to sign up for the Better Boundaries brief at thedawnlab.com. Thanks again for being here. Until next time, put yourself first.